to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk. And this, my friends, is the Thunder Show, aka the internet's most passionate wine program. And as you can tell today, we've got a new setting here, huh? A little different. And today is a very critical episode of Wine Library TV, so I wanted to change the scenario. You know, as we are fastly approaching episode 400, something that if you haven't seen episode 200, as a matter of fact, link it up, baby! God, that's so big. I can't believe you don't have a t-shirt. Anyway, link that up, and we will definitely, you need to watch episode 200 to understand that at episode 200, I absolutely did not think we would be approaching episode 400. So as we're getting close to episode 400, I thought it was a good idea to I was in a very weird mood today all day. As you can see, the episode's probably up very late for most of you because we're taping late. It's, 5:30 here, Probably won't be up until, 8 Eastern. So, it's a late episode, and it's one that really, it's an interesting episode for me. A very special episode today. I mean, we've got two wines here today. Two bottles rolling in at about $225, $26 combined. A $150 bottle of wine and a $75, $76 bottle of wine. And so there's a big reasons I have them here, and they represent something that's going on globally. And, I always like to look back, and I like to look at myself, and I like to think about what this show is all about and what I'm all about and what does it mean. And, as the numbers of the Vaynerchuk start exploding, I feel a bigger responsibility to kind of talk about things more often so they're addressed. So I thought that I'd need to put together an episode like this so I could talk about a couple things that may otherwise have gone undiscussed so that I can email it to you guys as the thousands and thousands of emails come across to my desk, something that you can get a pick into my brain. So if you're watching this months from now, I'm probably sending this to you. I wanted to talk about what I do. Wine Library TV, I sit down in front of my normal desk and I taste 4 wines, usually about 1 or 2 hours of breathing straight from the bottle, rarely decanted like I recommend for you to do with wine. And you've seen that in several episodes, including episode 18. Link it up, baby. Episode 18 and 200. We're putting you to work today. You got the Super Bowl thing. So you're flying on cloud 9. I can be like, go dig up a tree. Yes, sir. You're going to be pumped about everything. I know how you feel. Well, I don't know how you feel. Eric Godfrey, I'm going to kill you. Eric Godfrey was the little kid in the neighborhood who made me a Jets fan. Had he been a Giants fan, I'd be going to my 4th Super Bowl. And it would have been good for the show. We would have done it in Arizona. Anyway, getting away from the real topic at hand, which is, what do? I sit down and I taste 4 wines, straight from the bottle, a couple hours, maybe an hour, some 45 minutes, and up to 2 hours, and we evaluate the wine. How quickly do I evaluate the wine? Very quickly. Like most wine critics in the world, whether Spectator or Parker, on a very quick level. Then I preach to you about playing with the wine and letting it sit. I think about the wine and the effort that is put into making great wine, and even average wine. I mean, it's heart and soul of the vineyards and the vintners. And, I feel in a tough spot because what I'm doing is I'm evaluating wine the way most people drink wine. And I think that's where I bring value. However, I want people to know that my outlook on wine is different. For example, most wines that I drink over a 24 or 48-hour period of time. However, when I buy from the store, and I have over the last decade, I've always bought in that flash tasting environment. The reality of the marketplace is that most people pop and pour. Luckily, through shows like Wine Library TV and lots of great articles and lots of other reasons, people are starting to decant. People are starting to decant and then put back in the bottle and bring to the restaurant like I recommended. People are using my new move, which is calling the restaurant ahead after going on their website and picking the wine and asking them to opening it 3-4 hours before they get there. There's a lot of cool things going on, a lot more education, and people are starting to play with the wines. They're starting to pour the wine, and they're starting to, smell the wine more, and they're playing with the wine, and they're evaluating the wine, and they're enjoying it over a course of dinner. I just want to make sure that we are not falling into a slippery slope. And now Kahuna's going to say, don't worry, we don't listen to you. By the way, Kahuna, some of your comments, I'm going to get your ass. Anyway, I don't want to fall into a slippery slope where people, as the numbers grow, I don't want to recreate things that I don't believe in. I do not believe in anybody believing into anything besides their own palate. And I know I preach it a lot, but I want to preach it again right now on a different set to make it very serious, to let everybody understand. I don't want to be followed. I don't want people to go out and buy wine because I loved it. Don't forget, again, I'm evaluating it in a quick setting like I normally do. I want people to embrace their own palates, but most of all, try new things. I am so enthusiastic and excited about the part that people are buying Albariños and people are buying Côte de Rhone Blancs. A lot of emails over the last 24 hours from that episode the other day. So a lot of good, but I don't want to trap a bad into this show. I don't want to create a culture where people are buying wines based on my recommendation. I mean, I want them to try different wines. If I'm excited about it and you found yourself through the 400 episodes to have a similar palate to me, then God bless. If you're popping and pouring like that, God bless. But I want everybody to understand these wines evolve. And because of that reason, I brought out two very serious wines. And what we're going to do is we're going to taste and evaluate them now as a normal show of Wine Library TV and how I'm going to go about it forever. However, we're going to come back tomorrow and evaluate these same exact two wines as they've been open for 24 hours without a cork, because these are serious monster wines and it'll be interesting to evaluate. As a matter of fact, Mott, you know what we're going to do? I need another decanter. Do we have another one? We'll have to get another one. You're going to have to try. I like to put everything on film so people, you know, we'll just do one. We'll do one. We're going to pour this right here in the decanter, right? We're going to swirl it, and now we're going to put it right smack here. All right, you can zoom over there, Mott, so everybody can see the exact spot. Beautiful. All right, get back over here. So we're going to tomorrow. We're going to have the Torbreck out of the glass again, just like I'm going to do in a little bit, out of the bottle, breathing, and even out of the decanter. And the Achaval, we'll just do out of the bottle. So I just want to get a point across that that wine. For me to sit up here and rant and rave and talk about a wine after basically a 1 hour breathing out of just the bottle and pour is very difficult. Now, I've been doing it all my life, and I do feel that when I taste a wine, I am projecting a thought in my mind of where this wine's going, just like all wine critics project what longevity the wine has. Educated guesses, by the way. So I do feel comfortable, and I definitely think that all the wines I'm evaluating, I feel that they're great. Now, can some of them fall apart over 6 or 8 hours? They could, but I don't lean towards fruit bombs anyway, which end up doing that more often, so I don't concern myself as much with that. But wines change over time. I'm sure all of you have had wines that in 24 hours were so much better, and then 28 hours later, horrible. Back and forth, wines you hated, then loved the next day. You need to play with your wine as much as possible. Let it breathe, let it decant, let it do its thing. I just, want every winemaker in the world to realize, I'm in a weird spot. I love doing this show and I want to educate everybody, but I definitely don't want to disrespect anybody's work over a quick shot, especially because that's not what I believe in. And so, it's just fun to look back, as we're getting close to episode 400 and think about all things that have happened. How many of you guys have gotten into different things and tried different wines? How many of you have met other fellow Vaynerchuks? And we want to talk about it. Tomorrow we're going to put up links to the Washington State, the Taste of Washington event, and Boston. I've got to meet some of you people in Boston at the Boston Wine Expo. We'll probably try to do a dinner afterwards. Yapped a lot. I want to do two big shout-outs, another great part of my show. Number one, Brian. Ma, go ahead.
There was one you told me that my job was in peril, and I can't remember.
You're going to get fired, right? I think I got him. I want to give a huge shout-out to, unfortunate shout-out to the passing of Kevin Dryatt, a really great man, 38 years old, left behind a family. Just sad news. His brother Brian, who watches the show, realizes how much I care about family and appreciates the show, and just wanted his bro to get a shout-out. Passed way too young, 38 years old. It's a travesty. And, Brian, all our thoughts here at Wine Library are with you, and we really, just such a tough situation, and, I'm thrilled that, you get comfort in me shouting that out. I definitely want to do that. And on a much, much brighter note, we're going to give a huge second birthday shout-out. I know you're watching right now. Little Michael LaVista. His dad, Anthony, said he's a big fan of the show. He'll be pumped. That's right, you little Michael. Michael LaVista, baby! So, happy second birthday. Just going the whole spectrum there. Got an email from a 71-year-old gentleman the other day. Lots of fun. Just a humbling show, humbling experience in my life. And before I get into these wines, I just want to thank you. And I just wanted to give you a little perspective of my thought on some of the things we do here. But I still very much believe in popping and pouring and tasting, because the majority of people do that or within that same range. Plus, I like drinking wine that way sometimes. Sometimes you're at a picnic, or you're just getting together, or you're just about to watch, American Idol, and you want to pop a bottle or whatever you're doing. So there's a lot of different ways to enjoy wine. There's no specific way. I think wine needs to be enjoyed the way you want to enjoy it. I don't think we need to impose what the winemaker even wanted or the winery wanted on you, because by the way, let's face the fun facts here. We're all popping almost every wine we consume way too young. None of us have cellars on that magnitude. In reality, every wine you buy right now in the market, including white wines, you should stick downstairs for 2 years and not even think about. Who's doing that? So, little burst there. Let's get into the first wine that we're doing today. Is the Achaval Ferrer Finca Altamira 2005, which is a high-end $76 Malbec, rated 94 points by J. Miller. Big J. Miller show today. 669 cases made of this classic Malbec that everybody's talking about. The grapes are planted in the mountains at 3,400 feet. And it's just 80-year-old Malbec vines, just amazing. And what's really interesting here is French barrels, 15 months in those French oak barrels. Now, when we popped it, Ian and I were just talking a little bit before, it had a real smell of being corked, and then it blew off. As I'm smelling it right now, believe it or not, I think it's luckily not a corked wine, but I thought we had a corker, which would have been kind of fun. I would have definitely talked about that on Wine Library TV. Would have totally took it to a different level, but we worked out. It worked it out here. We get a great black tea component on the nose, some black raspberry coming through as well. I get luscious, purple cherries coming through as well. You know the ones that I don't like them. I don't like the soft cherries. I prefer the firm ones. But are you a soft or are you soft or firm on cherries? Firm. Quick little side question today. Soft or firm on your cherries? This is like the soft cherries, the ones I don't like, but are very sugar-fied and thick and grapey. And that's what's coming across on this. Let's give it a whirl. Little dark chocolate on that last little snippy snip. Great power, great back-end tannins, nice mid-palate. Mint chocolate chip strawberry candy coming through on the palate, but a real sour green dill flavor on the finish, which is kind of interesting. So it goes from a very candy-esque style to something a totally different, like meal-type wine. Little hints of mint all over the place, actually. Good black pepper coming through. The alcohol is definitely ripping through this wine. Let's see what's going on here. 13% alcohol. I don't see that happening, or the fruit's got an issue. There's a little too much heat on the finish for me right now. Clearly a wine with a huge tannin structure and complexity to last another 7 to 10 years easily, and then maybe even beyond this. A big, bold effort. To me, not worth the 76 bones, for sure. To me, this rolls in at about a 90-point effort, 91 points. Not killing me, not really stunning me. Expected a lot more from this wine. Now, the JFK theorists and, what am I looking for? Conspiracy theorists are going to start popping out saying maybe it was corked. I'm really trying to get in there. I very much know what corked wine smells like and tastes like. I'm not feeling it. It was a little tainty in the beginning, but I love this black tea component on the nose. It's incredible. But this is a 91-point wine, and for 76 bones, to me, a major pass. Now, what we're going to do, again, this is a big, bold wine. And again, I might have made a mistake by bringing out two serious wines, because I also believe in the theory of playing with the wine and evaluating and letting it breathe on like $20 wines. But we're going to, stick this here, and we're going to come back to it tomorrow, and we're going to evaluate it from there. I'm just so darn excited. I'm just like so pumped because so many more people watching this show. We're getting up to crazy numbers. I mean, humbling. I'm walking the streets, signing autographs and kissing babies. It's absolutely insanity. But there's also an enormous sense of responsibility that I'm starting to feel. And I just want to communicate better what I think about this amazing beverage that's changed my life and brings so many people together. So, I know I can get excited and get all pumped up, but I just love this product. I just don't want it to be stuffy, and, I don't think there's any reason for it to be like this, and I don't think there's definitely no reason for it to be like this, which is where it's been, and there's definitely no reason for anybody to ever impose their will on you about wine. I like wine a certain way, Mott likes it a different way, you like it a different way, your friend likes it a different way. Wine needs to be embraced, needs to be treated like art or architecture. I don't like this new wave stuff. I'm a little more classic. I want to go antiquing. Do you? Maybe not. And so wine needs to become much more personal in this country and in this world. And I want to be a stepping stone to help people realize that. And wine needs to be fun, because I'm having a lot of damn fun with this, Mott. I mean, maybe the Super Bowl sucks, but this is awesome. All right, let's get into this. Yeah, I know, you're pumped. I know, second mention. Torbreck, 2004 Run Rig. This is the big wine from Torbreck. This is $150 US and rated 99 points by Jay Miller. That's a little Mark Gastineau. Let me give you a little bit of a Super Bowl, a sack dance like Gastineau used to get the 15-yard penalty. Ma, bring out the yellow flag, baby. Mark Gastineau makes his first appearance on the Thunder Show. 99 points, Jay Miller, 150 bones, one of Australia's colt wines. Very tough to get, very serious stuff. I mean, this wine is 96.5% Shiraz, 3.5% Côte Rôtie. That's very much, 3.5% Viognier. Head's getting ahead of me. Very much in the Côte Rôtie style. 30 months, 30 in French oak. 1 ton to the acre. I mean, they've got like little robots picking the grapes, I mean, it's unbelievable. The selection process. This has always been traditionally a huge fruit bomb. Aged in French oak, big, massive wine. 2004 current release, so you can see the 30 months makes it a situation where you gotta wait. And I'm damn excited about trying this. If you're a cult wine fan, the big Cinco Nom lovers and all the Cult California lovers, this has been a wine that's been a staple amongst you guys. So I'm excited about trying this. Let's give it a little bit of a sniffy sniff. Somebody just said recently, and I'm going to steal it, it smells like sex, Ian just said as he opened this. I mean, I don't know if it's sex, but I'll tell you what. It does smell like a brouhaha of fruit explosions. This smells exactly like the classic 5 and dimes. All right, I can't do this anymore. The classic 5 and dimes of your 1950s. I can't also do this. Yes, I'm having trouble. It's an absolutely massive Skittle-esque. We are absolutely riding the rainbow of Skittles with our My Little Pony as our guidance. And you know what? It's dark, so we need glowworm to get us through it. I mean, this is an explosion of fruit. There's just a massive amount of red and dark fruits, even tropical. One of the things that fascinates me about this wine is I get a coconut component, which is such a scarcity amongst red wines. Mango, papaya, I mean, just a totally star fruit, red currant. I mean, just a very massive smorgasbord of fruit and candy coming across here. Bottle caps. And it's almost got like a root beer component, believe it or not, on the nose as well. So, I mean, this is classic nose. Fruit forward, fruit bomb city, baby. Let's give it a whirl. This is out-and-out indulgence. This is, showering in milk chocolate. This is a masseuse massaging you 24/7 as you walk and live your life. A little bit to the left, baby. I mean, this is an absolute indulgence explosion. This is you laying on the beach 24/7. This is somebody carrying you to your dinner. This is somebody feeding you. This is somebody helping you go to the bathroom, brushing your teeth. This is pretty much being an actor or actress in our world in Hollywood now. This is indulgence and explosion all over your palate. Pure fruit, very thick, almost not wine-esque. It's almost jammy reduction sauce. I mean, this is like having cool down reduction sauce for the cherry sauce that you have on your great duck at Danielle. Speaking of which, had a great meal at Danielle last week. I gotta give them a big shout out. Wine list, meh. Overpriced. Food, redonkulous. I had a 4-course pig as my main course. It was crazy. And a pheasant stew. It was amazing. Lizzie had a great time. It was awesome. Anyway, this wine is completely over the top. I mean, as much of a fruit bomb New World explosion as you get. I guarantee if you've never had this wine, you've probably rarely, if ever, had a wine like this. The only thing I can really remember having like this on a Thunder Show was that one Garrettson Bulldog wine. Remember that Syrah from, I'm talking about, a long time ago, Mott. There's like an orange marmalade kind of component flavor on this wine on the finish. Very viscous, explosive. This is just what New World fruit bombs are all about. And you know what? You've got to take this ride once in a while. You can't live your life and not go to Vegas once in your life. That's what this is. This is Vegas. What happens when this hits your mouth stays in your mouth. That's the way this wine rolls. Very controversial to me, but I got to be honest with you. I think these guys pull it off. To me, This is a 94, 95 point effort. I mean, 99 points, way too over the top. I'm never going to do it. However, I mean, I will if it comes there, but this is not that case. However, this is massive fruit explosion done right. There's a creaminess, coconut milk component. Again, the mangoes. The marmalade and orange and tangerine component of the finish is wild. I mean, it's the most distinct and obvious flavor in this wine. Great backbone structure, great tannins, great polish, just a very explosive, viscous, massive wine. This wine will last for 20 plus years. Put it in the bank, or it's going to disappear. Little Casper action. We're really quite not sure what these, fruit bombs are going to do. What I do know now is if you roll this deep, if you roll that style, if you got the bones to be able to pull off, get this wine, you've got to experience it. It's one of those wines that you need to give a whirl just to see what it tastes like. That being said, at 150 bones, I don't recommend this wine. This is indulgence. On a practical level, it's never recommended. $300 chocolate, massage. What is that, Lizzie? Why do you want that? But sometimes you just got to live life, and that's what this product is. Now, it's going to be very interesting to me to see how this wine evolves overnight, 24 hours in the bottle. How it's going to do, in the decanter. We'll see. And then, of course, we'll see how it does in, obviously in the glass. Well, those are two ways. But it's just amazing how much wine changes. I love scoring wine. I'm not going to go away from that. But I really hope that people take it with a grain of salt. And most of all, realize you've got to embrace your own palate. That is what it is all about. Very simply, I just want to say thank you for everything you guys have done for me. I feel great responsibility, and I'm going to come through. Even though I'm only doing 7 more shows all time, I'm going to kill through those. Question of the day. What do you love to do? Because you, with a little bit of me, we're changing the wine world, whether they like it or not.